Hello, Joanne. Welcome to the Founders Podcast.
Wow, thank you so much for the welcome. I'm so glad to be here.
Great
Yeah.
stuff. Great. I really like your necklace. Is it what is it? Is it like a culture thing or something?
I got it from Brazil last time when I
Uh-huh.
visit, and then when I
Uh-huh.
came back, I thought I wanted to buy a little gift for myself. And then I
Yeah.
passed by this shop. Wow, that just caught my eye. I just fell in love with it. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's,
Where about did you go to the Brazil?
oh my gosh, that's a good question. What's the city's name?
Is it close to San
Brazil.
Paulo? Brasilia.
Um,
Okay, the capital.
Brasilia. Yeah,
Brasilia.
somewhere close
Yeah.
to there. That was a retreat, for business retreat.
Perfect.
So that was a great
Perfect.
trip.
Great
Yeah.
stuff. So, Joanne, just before we start, then, do you have a favorite quote, something that inspires you, you would like to share with our audience to motivate and inspire them?
Yeah, sure. My quote is not actually exactly a quote. I actually went through a soul awakening event and get to understand who are my source and what is my soul name. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, when they gave the meaning of my soul name, that just wowed me because that's exactly who I am and exactly what I'm passionate about. So, what I say is about the power of teamwork will create ultimate journey of victory, and that's the meaning of my name. I want to share with
Mm.
everyone. And today's talk is about about that as well because teamwork is one of my soul power. Yes.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you so much. And I couldn't agree more with you on this one because, as you have seen multiple times in the history, you can start a business by yourself, but at some point, you have to get team members on board. You have to have these A level um, not, I don't want to call them employees. I want to call them your fellow entrepreneurs or founders, even though you pay them, but they have to be dedicated for your vision and the mission of your work so that you can grow
Exactly.
together. And the other day, Altman mentioned in one of the podcasts that we are heading towards a future where, there are companies who will grow to $1 billion valuation or at least revenue, which is equivalent to $1 billion valuation, which could be created from a value system perspective from a single solo entrepreneur, which I highly
Mm.
doubt. But again, with all these AI and all these
The internet is a bit unstable. Sorry about that. You continue. I'm here anyway. Yeah.
okay, great. But then, what do you think? What's the future is like? Or let me ask you the question in a different way. What are the top three things our listeners going to learn by being with us for the next 1 hour?
Well, I think there'll be three things I want to really share because that was my personal journey as well. One is the very first one as a founder. I think how to keep our dream wild and the real. I think
Hmm.
because that's very important. That's a seed. That's the vision. How we actually started everything. The second one is on the building part. How we actually have a bird view on the business to have all the structure line out and to really streamline our process. And the third one is how we really leverage our team to really manifest and scale up. So these are the three
Mm,
main points because that was my personal journey inside out. So I'd really like to share the insights with everyone. Yes.
great stuff. Great stuff. So cool. Let's jump into it then directly. When you're helping your customers with their vision and understanding of their objectives, how do you find it out that they can keep their vision intact and go forward with it in a way that they can achieve the milestones and objectives what they have planned?
I think that's why I think the first one is had a wild dream is very
Hmm.
important because as a founder, I believe all the founders start a business because of certain reason, right? Either they want to change the current status and they wanted to create something is not existing in the world, or maybe really uplifting some gaps in the industry, make some difference, really solve the problems, and they're all starting with a very wild and motivated seed in our heart, in our soul. And that's actually the main thing actually keep us going as well, no matter what kind of difficulties we experience all the time. So I think that's the main thing. Start from there. With the heartbeat, how did we come up with this idea? For example, like my cases, right? When I started my own business, I
Hmm.
was a financial planner by myself. I was solopreneur totally. But I need to actually transfer my mindset from a professional into business mind. And also I need a lot of help for my business. I'm not really a DIY style. I need a lot of help. And I did exercise on my incompetence, competence, excellence, genius, and realized incompetent. I have a IT and marketing. I'm not good at it. I hated it. I'm not good at it, right? And draining my energy. I decided straight away outsource those parts.
Mm,
And because of this exercise, but funny thing is that when I did the competence part, right, and I found out the financial planning is actually on my competence part, which means I can do it well, but I don't love that dearly. Then I start to think, is that the real career I wanted to for the rest of my life, right? I started that career just because I have this profession, but it seems like it's not something deep inside of my heart. I have the desire to create something. And then because of this experience, I started to really work with different VAs and then to help my own business. Oh, tell me, I had a lot of challenges, turnarounds and training and hurdles, all those sort of communications, laid down all those sort of things. But fortunately now, because after this experience, I created something which is not existing in the market because I need a little help. I don't have enough budget to hire a group of people full time or part time.
mm-hmm,
I need flexibility, but nothing in the market that can suitable for my needs.
mm,
Because of that, because my experience, because my challenge, I created this team for my own business to start with. And then now I start to think, oh, there's a lot of business owner maybe is in a similar situation. Then I start to share this resource out. Because I went through the journey, I thought there was a gap and then create a solution and made me have this wild dream I wanted to share with the world. So that's how I started. Yeah.
mm. That is very interesting. And specifically the part how you analyzed or quantified your abilities of what you could do and what you like to do, because there are two different things. Sometimes we are
Yeah.
very good with few tasks or activities or capabilities because we are fundamentally very good with the underneath processing capabilities. For example, finance. If you're good with mathematics, if you're good with statistics, if you're good with calculation or algorithms, you can do your finances, but that doesn't really means you want to do it, isn't it?
That's
and
so
and
true.
and and that and that drags out all the motivational juice from your brain. Whereas on the other hand, if you're good with numbers but you're very passionate about, let's say for example, frequencies, right, what kind of frequencies of sound you can generate to get more productive, or you're very good with negotiation, that capability of being good with numbers could help you out with so much that not just you're getting these juices in your brain that, oh, I'm so good with mathematics and I'm leveraging that skill into, negotiating business deals, etc. So I want to keep doing that. So this is spot
Absolutely.
on when you mention. And when you realized that, when you understood your passion and which direction you wanted to go forward with, which is the answer which you have shared with us on the first question, how did you proceed to the next part of it? What was the motivation point where you said, okay, now this is the point for me to move to the next one?
Well, that's really great question. And actually that relates to my second point about the bird view part, right? Because to initially when I start my business, to be honest with you, I was a first time business owner. I've never done business before by myself. And I start to work with different people. I'm good with the people, I'm good with team, but still I'm not a business owner.
Hmm,
At the early stage of my business, to be honest, I was like a paddling through, and my leadership style is totally like a title leader. To be honest with you, I'm a leader, I'm a founder, I'm a director. You got to listen to me, that kind of thing, right? Then I gradually figure out it's a bit messy. I can leverage the team, I can work with the people, and I can find out the backups. But still, my business is not really in a structure at that time. Then I started to learn about the systemology. Like about how to systemize a business. I started to really look at our business like a house. And I divided them into different rooms, right? Like a sales, marketing, finance, operations, and maybe lead generation, let's say, like different areas. So I started to create an internal SOP for different, departments or different rooms. And I started to allocate the key team member, gradually build, but I started with a structure first.
hmm,
Um, Before that, I was like all flat. It's a flat. Everything is just cuddled together, and responsibility is not clear. And when something happened, I'm always feeling it's like reactive. I'm very, very active because if something, I'm the one who go there to fill in those gaps. I believe many of us experience that if we just started the business. But since I started to create this house structure, right? I have an individual, I know who is responsible for what, and we create this streamlined systems. And if something happens, we also always have some backups to fill in. So it does take some time though. But having that mindset of creating a structure will be a great start that will help us to really focus on the business on high value level of tasks on top of the business instead of getting drawn in the business, always like a firefighter, like
Mm.
to really rescue some situation. Give us opportunity to really have the bird view, keep on our vision and do the things we love to do to drive the business forward. Mm.
Indeed. And it's not just about the passion, isn't it? Sometimes it's also about, okay, I'm passionate about it. I can keep going through it. But at some point, you have to put the bread and butter on the table, isn't it? What was your perspective on that aspect of the business?
Oh, that's so true. Actually, that's the reality part. You see, when I start a business, that's a wild part. There's nothing here. I want to create something, to fill in the gaps. And how we keep it real. To be honest with you, I think that's the deeper mission behind it. That's what kept me going. To be honest with you, in the VA industry, it's all talent hunt model. I have a role, you find someone fill in, hands off. Okay.
Mm,
For the business, VA company, there's all the existing models. For us, because I personally experience all those challenges and hurdles, I really want to reduce stress for the business owners. So we're actually providing a lot of flexibility to the business owners, which means at the same token, we actually bear a lot of fluctuations, cash flows, scaling up, a lot of issues. We need to find out a lot of solutions at the beginning to really fine tune this whole thing to nurture and then to support smoothly down the track. To start with is not easy, but what kept me going, to be honest with you, first of all, is my faith. I
mm,
believe we need something like this in the market because
mm,
I've been there, done that. I was so drawn out. I don't have a solution. I wanted to provide a solution. And I believe that this solution, if more people really understand how it is, it will truly help us to focus on our genius, to really grow into our passion, to really manifest this passion, right? So that was a phase. And then the second part, it was responsibility. I learned that actually along the way, not at the very beginning. It's a journey, to be honest with you.
we all
At the
do the
beginning,
mistakes. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, at the very beginning, I didn't really put too much on the responsibility part because for me, our model doesn't have a too much fixed cost. So for me to run the business is easy, right? It's not like I have to stop with this and that. But at the same token, after my soul awakening, especially, and I really start to realize responsibility is one of my life lessons, right?
Mm,
I didn't take enough responsibility for myself. Of course, I wouldn't be able to take responsibility for others.
mm,
After that, my mission was really truly on how can we keep the team keep growing, keep food on their table, supporting their family. Of course, at the same token, they will be supporting my family as well. And how we truly actually let our founders, our business owners, to leverage our resources to truly do the things they love to do and to grow their business. No
mm,
matter what, we'll be there as a backup. So it's like a journey after that that kicks in and to keep me going at the different stages. I have a different motivations, but deep
mm,
inside of my heart, I think I want to share this with you. um that was a journey as well. That was transition.
mm,
At the very beginning when I did the business, to be honest with you, I was very transactional. I was looking at the people, looking at as a dollar sign.
mm,
I want to go to the networking, I exchange a business card, I see what I can do business with you or not, like that. And then my spiritual mentor actually asked me one day, why do you do your business, Joanna? And my first answer was like, oh, it's a good business model. It's very logical, right?
mm,
She says, think again. Why do you do business? And I think, oh, I can actually help a lot of people. And that's what I started to think about. She didn't give up. She said, keep thinking. Think again. Dive deeper. Why
mm,
exactly do you do your business? And at that moment, there was one word split out of my mouth. I didn't think about anything. And I said, unconditional love. As soon as I said the word, the tears just dropped from my eyes. I didn't know why. And then she said, that's your answer.
mm,
You're here doing something from love, right? Love yourself, love others, love this world. And I realized that that was actually true inner drive kept me going all this long, even though there was a lot of challenges and hurdles, a lot of people putting me down, whatever it is, that kept me going because I believe I could, from there, loving myself, love others, love this world, to provide something, contribute
Indeed.
to everybody.
And
Like
that that is so
win-win.
that is so emotionally connecting ourselves into what we want to do, isn't it? Having a
Mm,
mentor or somebody you can reach out to have these deep foundational question answers. Obviously, the answer came from inside within yourself, but the
mm,
trigger she put in front of you in order to get that out of you, and the matter of fact that it poured out tears out of your eyes, tells me that at some point each of us has gone through these stages where we have to do the real life learning but in a different format. And that
mm.
format, whatever format it is, either it is a conversation, bad experience in our life, or meeting somebody, a stranger at an airport, having a conversation with that stranger. No matter what it is, once we realize that, that's where the trajectory of our hockey stick in business starts, isn't it?
That's so true. Yeah, it must be some divine arrangement and the divine timing. Yeah, so
Great
true.
stuff. Great stuff, John. So let's talk about a little bit more about how your services work and what kind of facilities you provide to the founders. So let's say most of our listeners, they are into tech industry. They run their digital businesses online, offline, and they're always looking for some help. What sort of SOPs are in place to get onboarded, and how do you manage the time difference, the time zones?
All right, cool. So, how is our model work? I just put it in this way. If your audience, everyone is familiar with VA, at least to start with, right? VA, a virtual assistant, and traditional model is that you have a role, you want someone to help you to fill in this role, and traditionally is they need at least 20 hours or 40 hours a week to do that role, right? So with our model, because I personally experienced that, for example, someone coming to me, I have a 10 hours budget. I want my website done. I want my CRM done. I want my finance done. Normally, there are three people, three skill sets, right? But they only have a 10 hours budget. With the traditional model, they can't really fit into that. They need to hire three people, 20 hours each. That's it. But we don't need that, right? As owner, as a business owner, we don't need to come up with that much work to keep them amused. There's extra stress. So with our model, how we do is we pick those three skills, customize a team within this 10 hours budget for the business. And we also apply the flexibility. You can increase it. Maybe next week you're busy, 15, whatever. And then next week you're quiet, you'll go down to 3 hours, 5 hours. And the next week go on holiday, you can pause it. So that's the flexibility we want to provide to the business owners. By saying that, because our team members, they are all experienced in the different field. Because the way our business name is Operations Genius. We want our clients to focus on the genius, not just client. Our team member, every team member is focusing on the genius because we believe when we do the things we love to do with our heart flow is the highest state of our being, right? We can create a great creativities and with good qualities. So with that, our team is more like a plug and play team, which means everyone is already know what they're doing. We just need to know how you run your business. We can plug and play and it's run. So a lot of people treating us as a backup arm or on their organizational chart, they're floating us and filling those gaps from time to time. So I hope that makes sense. Just thinking is like a plug and play team. It's expert on demand. Whatever you need it, and we have the expert
So you
for the
you you're
operation side.
so in a layman's world, then you're Uber for, I don't know, VAs, something like that.
Oh my, yeah. Yeah, just but maybe different cars too, like,
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
we can customize it because,
Teslas. Yeah.
well, I didn't know actually we were the only one, at least first one who is doing it until last year we got recognized by 2024 EV International Business Award as the world first fractional VA service. They gave us a certain confidence. So, all right, so we kept going with this way. We truly actually filling the gap for the market.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's the model we're playing. It is very unique, actually different and is as innovative Actually, we won the innovation award. To be honest, yeah, that was innovation. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Great stuff. So Joanne, then let's move forward. Most of our listeners are either in their early phases of their founder's journey, right? They're always looking for help, and some of them are still in the phase where they haven't actually moved across the wall. They're still into their 9 to 5, but they're trying to get around and then potentially cross the wall. But in order to do that, they have to generate a certain amount of revenue every month so that they can support themselves and move there. So what they do is they do quite a lot of side hustles after work, right? This kind of arrangement would require quite a lot of help, even though let's say they are generating $3,000-4,000, which is not sufficient for surviving
Mm,
as an individual with a family, right? So what they're doing is they're trying to get some help on board and potentially improve the monthly recurring revenue so that they can leave their 9 to 5 and move to the full-time work they would
mhm.
love to do. In that kind of circumstances, what's the offers? What are the different services your team provide?
Actually, that apply to the all people, right? Because
Mm,
our solution is really for the people who is lacking of time and energy. They want to claim the more time and energy back. And for the side hustle type of founders, that's exactly what they need because they only have this much time and then they want to achieve so much to keep the revenue going. So in saying that the time is their most valuable assets. By saying that if they're doing a $20, $30 hour job, their actually true value probably is $200 to $300. So in saying that, it's really the same thing. For example, a founder, they need some marketing help or lead generations or uh, oh, I need to make it very clear though. For the founders group, we actually add value for the founders group for those ones who already have existing products, let's say,
mhm,
and they are ready to launch because before they actually having the idea come into fruition, it's very hard to provide support from our experience because at that stage, even the founder themselves are not really 100% sure which aspect they need help. But as soon as they actually have the core part developed and they're ready to launch the market, there's a lot of things that actually started to surf on the topic. A lot of people actually I have experienced they tagged out with the reach out to the market, for the constantly development with their team is the what's their main time actually kept in, but they don't have extra time and energy to really push the service out. That's the main backup army can kick in to really help them. Yeah.
mm,
So mostly in the marketing and then lead generation side, I think. And also
mm,
some internal admin aspect of, for example, diary management or CRM management, or even some designs depends on what the business owner needs. And that's the
mm,
beauty of this model is that based on the needs, we can customize anyway.
mm.
Depends on the situation. Mm.
That's a very good idea. And I run a couple of businesses myself in UK where we have SaaS revenue models for the platform.
Right.
But I've been thinking about something which I personally face as a pain point. For example, I have this podcast where I interview amazing entrepreneurs like yourself. I have to drop off my kids to the crutch. I have
Yeah.
to sync my calendar with my partner's calendar so that she knows when I'm going to the gym and when I'm coming back putting up groceries. I have to sync another calendar for my different podcast, which is we starting, and I have to sync my calendar with two of my different businesses. So there are like 6 calendars merging into the one, right? And
Wow.
then all these effort aside,
Mm.
I have to wake up every day around 6 a.m. to generate content to bring leads in because that's the primary way to fill the top of the funnel, right?
Mm. Mm.
So to organize all these to make sure that I am putting my energy in a place where I can get most of the value. What we did is we started building a platform which actually puts all the businesses together. Maybe I can actually show you and then you can give me some
Oh,
tips on
beautiful.
it. Yeah. So again, we also sell quite a lot of high-end products online when it comes to e-commerce and everything. So what we started
Beautiful.
doing is we started putting together this platform. What it does is I actually used all these tools, which is listed here, individually, paying subscriptions for them yearly basis for 3.5 years. And what I realized is I don't use them in a fully fledged way. For example, I am not using the all powerful features of Wix or HubSpot or everything like that, but I'm still paying for it, right? And I'm a person who has few people working in the team, and I wanted to create something which could be managed in a single dashboard. So we started creating this
Beautiful.
platform. We haven't actually launched it officially, but we already started getting a lot of leads because of my content online, right? I keep
Yeah.
posting things. So what it does is it lets you connect all of your calendars, no matter personal, professional, multiple calendars in one place, and it
Right.
shows you all the calendars in one place. It lets me capture video testimonials. So for example, if I'm having a guest on the show, I send them a link and then they can actually record the testimonial and send it back to me. Um,
Mm.
all the emails could be written by AI, or I can use templates to fetch the emails. So, and I can connect as many emails I want in one dashboard. So I don't have to like go to multiple dashboards, fetch all the emails into one and then respond back to them. Um, and then this is what I love. I don't even have to open my email. What I do is I go to my calendar, click on the meeting, like we were about to have our meeting. I went to my calendar, click on our meeting, and then when I click on your name, all the conversations with Joan listed here. And then when I click
Cool.
on one of the conversation, it pops up a response box and then I can just respond there. So I don't have to go to the email, search for Joanne's name, and then look what kind of conversations I had with her. So all these things we are
Wow.
doing, and now I'm thinking to make it more powerful. I'm sure you must have heard about ClickFunnels, where you create the funnels, right? So what we
Mm.
did is we created this funnel builder where you can actually create pages by drag and drop. So this is my website, right? For Founders Podcast. You have seen it already, right?
Yeah.
I have not created anything of like this. Everything is drag and drop from left to right, and then it just creates it, which has all the e-commerce features and everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So just wanted to share this with you so that I understand if a person who is managing a couple of businesses having this much trouble with all these platforms paying for years, what strategy do you suggest to the founders to follow in order to delegate their workload so that they become more productive?
Well, that was my personal journey as well. Like at the very beginning, I subscribe this, subscribe that, like I just do it and then without set and forget, those kind of, it was relating to my life lesson, to be honest. At the beginning,
Yeah.
I wasn't really responsible. I was just doing, having fun. And then I realized need to go to the reality part and really think that, oh, I have some leaking from the revenue, right? So I started to look at every, first of all, I started from budgeting side. I started to budgeting myself. Okay, so this is the revenue, this is the margin, and this is the budgeting. And I work from my budgeting to
Mm.
start with. And I'll look at all the things I'm actually using. And then either I look for alternative solutions, see is there anything better, or I keep it for now, but I keep those budgeting very lightly and I mean tightly now. I will look at it. If without a budgeting, I won't really consider to start a new thing, or maybe I'll just start with something relatively, within the budget like that. So that was one thing I did for myself with the budgeting side. Another thing is that I think prioritizing those tools as well. I think I started to prioritize really something related to my dream, keep my heart sane, and driving the revenue and the building for the future. Anything related to the growth part, I'll prioritize them on the top. And the other things, if there's not really, because it's like a filtering out, right? So if something is not really urgent, I will just wait a little bit like that. So I think that's one of the suggestions I can give.
Mm-hmm.
I love your platform because it's certainly actually filling a gap for some of the part on the, especially like yourself, you're running many multiple business. But I have a question for you. You must be very tech savvy, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
actually integrating all the ITs and AI, everything together. I just curious from my end because I've been working with a human for many years and I noticed a trend. Actually, AI is, oh, I love AI. I love those tools. What would be the thing you think that we can work well better way the human and the AI together? What are the gaps that AI still in this industry? One actually we're leveraging AI to streamline and scale up our business.
So I would say that um, learning from the trajectory we've been presented by different AI um, entrepreneurs, founders, is people. There is a myth that AI can actually replace human 100%. This is never going to happen. And the reason why is the most powerful AI in the world is here. And when I
Mm,
say that, is the reason I'm saying that is because you can make a system smarter. I recently posted a social media video where I proved that how Apple have conducted multiple experiments where they figured out that AI is not doing any reasoning at all. They actually learn about these small games and understand their outcomes, and they start repeating the outcomes, and that's how they solve the challenges, the problems given to them. It's not
mm,
actually really thinking. Obviously, after the study was released by Apple, Anthropic responded back because their whole revenue model is about reasoning, right? And they challenged it. But essentially, what this study tells us that humans could be augmented, humans' capability could be augmented at a certain level with the help of AI. And that is what we should be focusing on. Most of the billion-dollar companies right now hiring consultant, not because they are very good talking, not because they can show you big slide decks and big invoices, and not because they have expertise, but to go in their organization, understand how things work and which parts of this workflow could be automated, a small part of it that will save
mm.
them ton of effort, time, money,
Yeah.
and everything, right? Because effort is mixed of everything. And if we focus on that, what it gives us is that the humanity factor will remain in there. So if you're going to an organization and saying, okay, we have produced this AI software, but you cannot utilize the AI software until and unless you have a human in the loop, they will say, okay, this person is talking sensible because this person understand that AI cannot do everything. You get my
Yeah.
point.
So
Whereas if
true.
you go and say, oh, I can replace your whole calendar, lead generation, marketing, everything with AI, if the business owner is smarter, they already know that you don't know what you're talking about, because in real world, there is a very sleek use case you can perform with 100% AI automation. But when it comes to
Mhm.
real world, edge cases and different kind of scenarios, because humans react differently. For example, my mom bought something on an e-commerce platform, not Amazon, and then she started chatting that she wanted to refund it. But the challenge she had is she paid on delivery. The person delivered it and then she paid cash. My mom is old. She understands how ChatGPT works, so she talks with ChatGPT. But she doesn't understand that the person she's chatting on the e-commerce platform is also an AI. So she keeps saying, can I talk to a human? And there's no response. Whereas if they had connected, if they have looped that AI conversation with a human, they could have saved the customer at that time,
Yeah,
right?
that's it true. That was one of the frustrations some people too. I just want to talk to the real people. Yeah, I know. I think there is a huge emerging era comes in because I see this huge trend. As mentioned about our model is very unique in the human field, right? But I now
Mm,
notice there are some models similar to our model in the AI field. So actually, we are looking into the ways to working together with AI as a team now. There's one thing is very, I feel like that AI are great tools for us to uplift our productivity. However, working with a human is part of our soul journey because human are mirrors. We can only learn the life lessons when we're dealing with different people. And the true leadership is coming with dealing with different souls. And there are all the different life lessons. I think there's a huge trend that we started to, this is our next movement to really combine the AI with the human, how we can together work together as a team. Again, that's my superpower, right? I got to work it out. So yeah, that's a great point. But I'm really curious, like from your point of view, like a SaaS. founder point of view, what part of the gaps or pain points the human can really fill in those gaps,
I think
you think?
that's a very brilliant question, and I think there are things. Okay, let me give you an example. Um,
Mm.
Miss Sanchez, right? She always buy the old and boring businesses, car wash, stores near the petrol pump, old storage buildings, right? The reason she does that is because nobody wants to do boring business. Everybody wants to be in a fancy business where people can go to the office, sit down on their computer, and then do some magic, and then millions of people get benefited out of it as a value. When it comes to boring things in the world, the fundamental question here is, do you want to do the boring things, or actually can you survive without doing boring things? Let's say, for example, if you didn't had a car wash, what are the steps you have to take? Let's say there is no concept of car wash. Every single person have to spend 1 hour or more than 1 hour, 90 minutes at least, to take out their hose, get water and everything and wash their cars. But the fundamental thing it solves is saving time and effort. That's
Mm.
why car washes work. That is exactly what we have to understand. All the boring things in the business, for example, if I talk about myself, I am very, very profound about getting up early in the morning with full of energy and creating content. What I don't like is once I receive a response on the top of the funnel is interacting with my leads and converting them into hot leads. This is a boring thing, but you have to do it. Somebody has to do it. If I'm doing outbound marketing, for example, reaching out to the people on LinkedIn, I know that it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of research, but I don't like it. What I like is producing content on LinkedIn and putting it out there, right? So all the
Yeah.
boring parts of the business, which we founders know that it's important, if that could be replaced by delegating it to somebody else, that's what we are
Mm.
looking for.
Yeah. And you're the expert in working with the tech and the AI now. Is there still gap for the human to fill in, or AI can actually sort it out? You
As I
think?
said before, I think AI would augment humans. For example, the platform we have created, we have implemented AI capabilities in there, but a human still has to read the response, make it customizable, and then set it out. AI
Yeah.
could help you program a software, but a human has to go into the programming and then understand if there are issues, challenges, performance, compliances, security, all these kind of things. So you can
Mm.
augment capabilities of humans, but the problem is there has to be a human in the loop.
Right. Which means the experienced expert in this field can be accountability or QA or as a mind power of this whole process, right? So, great. That's great actually because I can see the future now how human can work well with AI and how our team can really serve better in this aspect because there's a
Indeed.
huge trend. We believe we wanted to add value into this space. Well, thank you for
Indeed.
answering my question. It's your show.
No problem. No
Well,
problem. We're all here on the same boat, so we need to help each other,
yeah,
right? Great stuff.
beautiful.
So, John, we have been talking for a while now, and before moving to our lightning round, I always ask this personal question to my guests. Throughout your journey and experience, then there must have been some valuable lessons learned. If you don't mind sharing, could you reflect on your experience and tell us about one mistake or a setback that you encountered along the way that you consider not a regret but a lesson learned? And additionally, what advice would you give our listeners based on this experience?
Right. Thank you. I think the main thing I've learned in relate to our audience can be a founder's journey is a starting point, right? And we're building our business as a dream and empire or as organization, whatever you call it. It's growing into something that will actually eventually liaising with the team. Whether it's a human or AI or combination AI and a human, it's a way of working together because there's no perfect person, but there can be a perfect team. Actually, that refer back to my very first sentence I share with everyone. The power of teamwork will create ultimate journey of victory. However, in my own journey, by working with a team, I actually transform different phases too. As I mentioned earlier, at the very beginning, I was a very title type of leader. I was founder, director, you got to listen to me. And actually, to be honest with you, probably when we're working with the AI, This problem, there's no problem because we gave a prompts, they answer anyway. But he's saying that when we actually start working with a human, there's a little bit lacking of gratitude, guidance, and nurturing. So when we actually, after that path, I felt like there was really cold and not carrying connection. I started to really go into the serving mode because when I started to look after my own humanity and my own feeling, everything as well. So I started to understand my team members, right? And I fully respect AI too. I always say thank you to them. And I think it's for understanding them to providing support, whatever they need. Similar as AI, if they don't have good prompts or the guidance, they won't be able to produce something like according to our expectation. It's about same as human way, got to understand what they need, what we can provide to support to allow them to have a stage to flourish. It's more like that. But now I'm going to the last stage, and I'm still practicing as a spiritual leader, which means I'm starting to balance the compassion on the boundary. Because when I'm working with the team members, I providing a lot of support. Some people do cross the border, right? And then to constantly show up certain red flags, and I do need to look into that. But I didn't really started to have a stronger boundary before I started to really truly love myself. I practiced the self-love. Self-love is not just like we do whatever we want to do and then eat whatever we want to eat, travel somewhere we want to travel. It's about fully accept who we are, accept all the pros and cons, strengths and weakness, and all aspect of ourselves, understand, have a patience, really fully supporting ourselves. And when I start to practice that, I start to have a stronger boundary. And actually, I realized if I operate my business starting from unconditional love, when I actually someone crossed the border, I gave them some consequences. It's a way to love them. If I don't, if I tolerant, if I we don't always get what we want, but we always get what we're tolerant for, right? If I constantly doing that, this person won't grow. As part of my soul mission this lifetime, it is helping team and members to grow. So I'm actually on this journey. I think that we all uh, my biggest actually insight, and I want to share with everyone, is great leadership is to help everyone become the best version of ourselves. And the first person to lead is actually ourselves. When we start to lead as example, everything else will unfold, including your families. I had a one life lesson, just very quick one. I used to be controlling freak. When I
Mm,
learned the leg of control of my life lesson, everything around my life changes. Relationship with kids, relationship with the team members, our team start to evolve. Everything changes. So I
mm,
urge everybody start to look into, if we talk about body, mind, soul, if we can start to look up from soul as a starting point and reflect back to embodiment and to flesh out, that would be the true essence of living here on this earth as a soul, to doing our part as a growth and as a contribution back to this world.
indeed.
That's what I
Couldn't
think.
agree. Couldn't agree more with you on this one. It's a spot on. Great stuff,
Thank
John.
you.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and different strategies you provide. You help with to founders to provide your services. Let's move on to our lightning round. Then we have 6 quick fire questions for you. If at any stage you think you don't want to answer any question, just give me a skip and then we move to the next one. Does that work?
Yeah,
Great,
it's fun.
great.
I don't know
Uh,
what are the questions. It's
that's
like
the fun part of
some
it, isn't it? You have to get it out of your brain, deep inside your brain, right? Great. Okay. What are the top 3 strategies to delegate your work in 2025?
delicate or dedicate?
Delegate. Yeah.
Delicate,
Yes.
delicate.
Yeah.
For 2025. It's not just 2025 now, but it's always what I do. Of course, combining the new trend.
Mm.
First of all, always tap into our heart to know our genius. That's always first step. I think to keep as a core, that's the essential point from soul, that what we truly love, because that's what keep us going. That's first point. Second point, start layer by layer. Be patient. You won't have a boom straight away going to work on the genius straight away. We can start from incompetence, then competence, excellence, layer by layer, to go on a journey.
Mm.
Third one is to really have open mind and to explore all the available resources. There are so many innovations in this world. Even like our model is still a lot of people they don't know about it. For example, have an open mind. If you see something, dive into it to really understand and choose the best option for yourself as a combination to scale up. Yeah, that would be my 3
Indeed.
suggestions. Yeah.
Thank you. What
Thank you.
book would you recommend to our audience and why?
I truly love to read The Power of Now.
Mm.
As I spoke to many people that either they had a spiritual awakening journey, or even before they actually tap into that era. This book is an open mind book that make us start to realize every single moment is a treasure. Because if we tack to the past, we drag down by the previous experience. If we think about the future, we can be anxious about what's upcoming. But the truly moment is actually at now. That book actually teach me started to switch off my brain. I now talk not from my brain. I literally connect with my source, whatever they want me to pass on, I pass on. And actually it's a flow. It's a flow, it's inspiration, it's creativity, and it's life. It's very bubbling, keep us alive. So I think Power of Now is very powerful. If you have a chance, have a read of that. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. And what's one attribute or characteristic in your mind of a successful founder?
I used to subscribe to success, but
Mm-hmm.
now I have a different meaning for success. You make me emotional when I think about it, because I used to think success is something about fame, about status, about money. But for many years, I wasn't happy. I always felt there was something not enough. But now I realize the true success is that we actually have ability to live in the happiness state every single moment. Because when we're in that state and with a true heart and intention to give, we will live the dream life we always wanted. For me, that's true success. So I think for me now, every single moment, I tap into my happiness, open the heart to really let my heart flow. Yeah, brain is good, a great tool. They actually helping me with the logic, everything. But all the engine, all the motivation, all the dedication is all start from here. If without a heart, we can't keep going with all full on, dedication. Yeah, that's the main
Indeed.
thing I want to share with everyone.
Thank you,
Happiness.
John. John, do you want to take a moment? Do you want to sip
No, that's so
some
good.
water or something?
That's
Are you
good.
okay?
It just I can be very emotional. It's happy tear. It's a happy tear. Yeah, because I
Got
finally
it.
realized its truth. I no longer need validation from external, because
Hmm.
I trust my unique value, because every one of us is uniquely different. When I believe
Indeed.
in our value, has a wholeheartedly to give something out to this world. Of course, starting from ourselves and the ripple out. That's very happy. Mm,
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
thank you.
Cool. Are you okay to move to the next one then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm good.
What,
Thank you.
what's your favorite personal productivity tool or habit?
Oh, habit. I tap into my energy very
Mm-hmm.
much. I'm very sensitive to energy. I used to work very hard, burn out, push myself. But I realize now, I think energy management is even more important than time management. Especially, I started to focus more and more on my genius side,
Mm-hmm.
focus on the things I love to do. I always keep in a happy state. I found out my productivity is like, it used to maybe take 3 hours. For me now, half an hour is done.
Mm.
And I can use that time to do something else. It doesn't mean that we don't need a team or other people now. It's just as a person ourselves, as our vibration changes. That's why they're saying that one day on the heaven is like 1 year on the earth. I now understand. And now things just happening so fast because we operate in a different state.
Mm.
So my habit is always tap into my energy. If I'm sure I'm in a state to produce, I will use that time and energy to, like what you're doing in the morning. I love to create a content. But if I'm tired, I reset myself. I won't push myself too hard. I allow myself to rest. After reset, boom, I can go again. Yeah, like that.
Awesome.
Reset our own rhythm. I think that's the true thing. Yeah.
Cool. What's a new or a crazy business idea you would love to pursue if you had time?
Oh,
Cool.
well, to be honest with you, right? So in the manifestation point of view, I always feel like business is like our playground. I actually learn a
Mm.
lot of life lessons through there. Talking about the ideas at the moment, probably I can only think of is really merging the human and AI together and then running them as a team together. And that would be perfect. I want to experience myself as well to really provide idea and insights and experience to really contribute to this gap. Yeah, I think that could be my crazy idea. Not fully human, not fully AI, but as emerging together. Yeah, working together as a team.
Definitely, definitely. And what's an interesting or fun fact about you that most people don't know?
Oh, I love arts. I used to sing and dance. performing. I love acting. Actually, one of the things that that was attributed to my founder character is when I in the uni, I love drama, like a stage show, but there's no certain club in the school, and I created one. And same as my business, there's no certain things. Oh, created one. Same as yours, right? You don't have the thing, you created one. I think that's part of our founder spirits. If there's something that we truly want, we can create. And that's the beauty of the co-creation. And because of my experience and my passion for the stage, now I started to become a speaker, especially after I experienced soul awakening and soul ascension. And that transformation just help all aspects of my life. I have a true passion to share these divine messages out. Yeah, so that's how I be on this journey now. Actually, Source gave me this gift to be on the stage to express and to share. I used to sing, but now I speak. It's just different way to contribute to co-create the experience with the audience. Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing all the wisdom, Joanne. Um,
Yeah.
if people want to get in touch with you, people want to understand more about you, or if they have a question, what's the best way to do it?
Well, find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is
Hmm.
my platform. Basically, yeah. So if you put Joanna Zhang, I should show up. If not, you put operations behind it, I must be showing up for sure. Yeah. So LinkedIn will be the best place. Mm.
Great stuff. And then at the start of the episode, we were talking about that you have some kind of deal for our listeners. Would you be able to share that?
Yeah, for sure. I've got a free guide called the Genius Free Framework. It's like a how to leverage a fully functional fractional expert on demand program to leverage your business. I think in the era of combining AI and everything else, I hope everyone can enjoy that the guide. Understand that there are certain things exist that, even though you're working with AI fully, very tech savvy, there's a human manpower part you can still leverage others to really fill in those gaps. So you can still have more time and energy to, focus on your dream and vision, create your world.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Joanne, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your inspiring journey and the impactful work you're doing by helping founders and other entrepreneurs. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on Founders Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Great time to spending together. Thank you.